Thank you for staying with us. We all know that a good father provides a positive experience for his children, but there's a local group taking it to the next level. The Upstate Fatherhood Coalition is helping dads do a better job by offering job coaching and support groups free of charge. The group is working alongside the South Carolina Fathers and Families Organization. Here to tell us more about what they have to offer is Kelly Walker, Executive Director, and Julia Sidley Jones, Director of Development. Thank you both for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the relationship between the Upstate Fatherhood Coalition and the South Carolina
Center for Fathers and Family? South Carolina Centers for Father and Family is like our statewide focus. It's 6 local nonprofits under the umbrella of the South Carolina Centers for Fathers and Families. So they provide us with TA, technical assistance.
Okay.
They help us with funding. Mm-hmm. They help us with research. They help us with evaluation of our program and our data collection and how do we measure what we do and the outcomes that we do.
Right. So who are you helping in our community?
Well, we helping families. I want to say at first we helping families because we feel that strengthening the father is also strengthening the family, which in detail strengthen our community, which give our society a stronger family unit.
Right. I was reading on your website that fathers do so much for a family and affect so much of a child's growing up and development.
It do, and what we like to use in the fatherhood movement is that word we shy away from is deadbeat. We don't like to call them deadbeat. We like to call them dead broke, because the fathers also have broken dreams, broken hopes, coming from broken families.
Right.
So you expect me to understand what a father is when I grew up in a single-headed household. And now you want me to be a father when I have not seen a father. I know what a father role is, but I don't know what the father responsibility is. So what we're trying to do is build that, remove that barrier that they're facing, that trying to get them out their way so they can see where they want to go.
Because if you don't break that cycle, it's just going to keep continuing on and on
Yes.
and on.
Technically, we are 4 generations removed of fatherlessness in the United States.
Wow, really?
Yes.
I think your website said children with fathers, they have better grades. They have a higher graduation rate.
They're less promiscuous with the father involvement. So in other words, the teen pregnancy rate is going down. School dropout would be lower with father involvement. Kids are not too adapt into a violent crime. That's why you see the uprise of gangs, because when it's 42% of the families in South Carolina is a fatherlessness, they're looking for that father or that male figure. So what they do, I join gangs because there's nobody guiding me right now. So.
Well, that's good stuff. I appreciate what you're doing in the community. Julia, you're making it happen, though.
Yes,
Trying to help.
You're bringing in the money
to
to keep them alive because you're a nonprofit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We're a nonprofit and all of our services are free. We worked with about 950 participants last year. We work in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson. And across those, we worked with about 967. We just got the new numbers out. And that's really kind of 967 individual plans, because we work with each person. We work with women too, it's mostly men, but we work with them on whatever their goals are and whatever the barriers they're facing that are keeping them away from being in the lives of their children. So sometimes that's failure to pay child support, and sometimes it's because they don't have a job or a career is what we're really trying to get people to. But we also surround them with other services of parenting and co-parenting classes. What does that look like? Because as Mr. Walker said, so many of these folks come to us having not had a father in their own lives. Not only the men that we're working with, but the mothers of their children often have not had a father in their lives, so they don't know what it looks like either. So also healthy relationships. And then we have a real emphasis on economic stability. So what it looks like to have a budget, what does your credit score look like, and why is that important? How to, once you get a better job, how to save money and not just have it go out with your first paycheck. And then we have a whole emphasis on men's health, so that we're trying to alleviate whatever the barriers are in their lives that are keeping them out of their children's lives.
Well, that's one of the things I didn't even think about, the women who grew up without dads are
Right.
probably going through the same thing as the men are.
All of what we're doing is really about the children, and as you said, breaking that cycle of poverty. And so we're trying to work with family in whatever way that looks like. It often involves grandparents or aunts or uncles or friends or whatever that whole support structure is. We'll work with everybody to try to figure out what's best for the children.
So you worked with almost 1,000 families last year.
That's
correct.
We can't save all of them, but it is a couple that we can just, I can, because I've been doing this for 21 years, of some people that I have really seen change, and their families change, and their children had better. And I'm not going to say their name because of the confidentiality,
Right.
but we have had couples to, we don't push marriage, but we have had couples to get married within to our group meetings. We have a pastor on staff, so he ended up doing a wedding ceremony with the participants being there in the wedding. We'd had probably 4 weddings coming out of group based on what Julia talked about. It's healthy relationships and what that looked like. What does this co-parenting thing look like? We have brought families back together where there was first exchange or they couldn't communicate, but we have trained mediators on staff to try to bring that conflict back together. It's all about giving our children a second chance, because we feel for our little girls that their first love affair should be with their father. And we think the first instance of a man for our little boys should be with their fathers.
How would people donate if they hear about this?
Sure, they can go to our website that you talked about, which is upstatefathers.org. You can donate online. It's about $2,500 for a man to go through the whole 6-month program, and as I said, it's totally free to them. We provide transportation and whatever they need. Or they could call me, and our phone number is on the website as well.
All right, thank you both for being here.
Thank you,
for what
Julie,
you're
for
doing
having
in our community.
Yes.
All right. And again, if you want to go online to that website, it's upstatefathers.org. Focus on the Palmetto State. We'll be back in a minute.